Hello everyone, this is Memo Drang here. I've set a recording schedule to every Saturday, and today is Saturday, and a new type of video of it, because today I wanted to talk to you about something really serious, and it's very unusual for me to talk about politics on my channel, but today is a little different. Um, because LGBT situation in Poland has been shitty for years, and I just have to speak about it today. So, as I said, the LGBT situation in Poland has been shitty for the past 2 years, but honestly, the past 1 year has been the worst so far. Half of the country declared to be an LGBT free zone. Our president wants to declare the entire Poland as the LGBT free zone. I've seen people getting beaten up, disowned by their families, losing homes and committing suicide over the LGBT phobia. Recently, one of the Polish activists got put up to an arrest for putting a rainbow flag on a statue. I suddenly couldn't join the protest that was happening today in my city because I was too afraid. I was simply too afraid to go there because I knew that the police is on the politician's side and could possibly hurt us or even put us to the arrest. So I also want to help, and I also want to inflict and put up anything that could help. So here's some things that I hear every day about the LGBT that I could basically put up straight. And to the first point, a lot of people are asking, why are we so loud? Why do we go on the LGBT marches, or why do we show off so much? Well, the marches are mostly made not to show off, but just as a meetup. Something like a Comic-Con for LGBT community. Why do we protest and why are we so loud? We're just fighting back. If the government wouldn't call us an ideology, if the government wouldn't use us as a major point in the political campaigns, if the government wouldn't constantly shit on us, put churches against us, call us stupid and inhuman, we would be quiet. But for now we are fighting back. We have to fight back. Because if we don't fight back, the president and our entire government will just take that as a guarantee that they can say anything about us and we're just not gonna fight it. They can say anything about us that we're demons, and if we don't fight back, they're gonna get used to it, and honestly speaking, we'll never be able to get the rights that we want. And something that I hear a lot whenever we mention the marches or anything, but aren't you discriminating us? If you want to show off so much, then I will also show off. There should be marches for straight cis men too. And I'm not even joking, my dad pulls that up all the time. And honestly, no. Cis straight people have all the rights that we want as the LGBT community. People who are non-heterochromatic, they want to adopt kids. They want to be allowed to share taxes between their lover. They want to be able to get married. And honestly speaking, I don't understand how fighting for that is making cis straights less valid. We're just asking and we're fighting for something that straight people already have. We want to be accepted and treated as a human, and I cannot imagine how that makes you feel less valid. It possibly just goes on your nerves that someone can actually fight for the rights and you cannot shit on anybody else, but honestly speaking, I just don't understand how fighting for your own good and for your own rights makes others feel less valid. And holy shit, believe me, that whenever you try to say something about how LGBTQ is doing good, and you cannot just like, and it's every single time you just try to point anything out, any straight and homophobic people will say, I'm not homophobic. They just can keep the love inside their doors, inside their houses. Honestly, and speaking from the bottom of my heart, Just a thing people say all over Poland and all the time whenever they're asked for media about what they think about the LGBT, and it's such a hypocrisy from any hetero person who says that. Heterosexuals are married, they wear enchantment rings, they talk about their kids, they handhold, they kiss, they talk about their husband or their wife to the shopping assistant. The shopping assistants ask about their personal life, they share how they're dating, how they've been together for 4 years. And even if they don't necessarily hold hands or cuddle, they're talking about each other all the time. They do it without any fear. If you don't necessarily show love as a heterosexual person, if anyone is married, if you just talk about your girlfriend or your boyfriend to anyone, you are showing off, because you're letting us know that you are in a relationship. Why cannot LGBT community do that? Why does it bug you that a man and a man are holding hands? It's not really illegal, and you guys are showing off a lot. Let us do the same thing. We can also hold hands. We also want to be able to cuddle without the fear that someone is gonna approach you, start questioning you, scream at you, or maybe even knock you out and send you to the hospital. If you are saying that we can keep the love inside of the houses, I have a feeling that you're a hypocrite, because you go out with your partner out of the street too. And as much as I wanted to keep it very friendly, I just can't help to get annoyed at that, because it's really annoying when someone who literally just talks all the time about their relationship tells you that you have to keep your inside of the four walls. And believe me, with some people's logic, two heteros having sex on the street is less weird and less illegal than two guys holding hands. And honestly speaking, I just don't understand that. But on to the next point. Many people connect LGBT with God and Catholic Church, and many times I heard that LGBTQ community is jumping at the church. There has been there was an entire drama about the artist drawing a pride flag on Bloody Mary portrait. And as far as I know, the rainbow is just something that represents the community, and it represents acceptance. And if you think that it's okay for you to hate on LGBTQ community because you believe in God, I'm pretty sure that Jesus said to love everyone as they were yourself. And that's how they said. But the problem is that in Poland, church is most of the time really involved in politics. And anyone who believes is gonna listen about something that matches the government's expectations. So by that, churches call people from the LGBT community demons and something that society should be freed of. They called our sons of Satan. Church is the reason a lot of people are homophobic, because it just sets their mind that way. And from an artist note, putting a rainbow in a copy of an art with Mary isn't offensive. It's just a new recreated adaptation of the drawing. It's just like the edits of Mona Lisa with all the mustaches. That's not vandalism. That's just a recreation, adaptation to the new society. But that still doesn't change the fact that your beliefs have nothing to do with my sexuality. And church does so much harm to the community. You don't even have an idea. Like, I remember there was a meme when a church put the boxes with all like bad demons, and there were 7 sins there, and there were LGBT over there, and that was really funny too, personally for me, because I have to laugh off some of the hate to not get really involved. Because believe me, it's really hard to not laugh. Because if you don't laugh at it, you're depressed over it and you're scared. And I laugh out my fear. And honestly speaking, I wouldn't do this video at all. Like, I want to keep my channel without any politics or anything. But today is different. Today is 8th of August 2020, and today we have a protest in my city, Krakow. One of the big LGBT activists got into arrest for 2 months. Yes, she destroyed the van with anti-abortion posters like pro-lifers, that abortion's also murder. And first she wasn't gonna get arrested. She was just gonna get punished for destroying that van. And the first court case denied the demand of her getting arrested, but the procurator sent the demand again, and this time it didn't get denied. Yesterday the judge decided that the activist has to stay in arrest for 2 months, which would never ever be the case in similar situation. But since she's a LGBT pro-activist, she got the 2 months arrest to prevent her from changing, like destroying more for prevention causes. And that's bullshit. And at Friday, and as today is 8th, Friday was yesterday, 7th of August 2020. There was a gigantic protest in where I live, where people wanted the activists out of the arrest. They were fighting for it because they thought that it's bullshit that she got into 2 months arrest before the court case happens. Again, in a situation like that, there was no way it would be that long. Police who came into the protest to make it calm it down, to burn it out, arrested 48 innocent citizens. One of the people I know are in the arrest right now, and they still haven't gotten out. The reason they are arresting people is because if you are in a group of people that are fighting for something that inflicts the society negatively, you can get up to 3 years of jail. And let me tell you that if wanting an activist free is something that you want to go to jail for, then I have no fucking idea what's wrong with this country. 48 people got arrested for no apparent real reason, and as I'm saying that right now, we don't really live in the democracy anymore. We live in Poland. Poland is slowly becoming a country of terror. They want to beat us down, so we are too afraid to go out and fight for our rights. They want to use the methods that communists use on Poland when we are fighting for our own good. And it pains me to see what the country is becoming. It pains me to see that this country that used to be democratic, that was freed and we were independent, we're doing the same thing. We're going back in time, using the same methods to keep down the public. Instead of respect and democracy, there's fear and terror. Even the presidential voting thus far were faked and not really the exact result that would be expected if there was no fakes or anything. But I hope that at some point our president and our government will get punished for the hate speech and the damage he has done to people. For now, all we can do is keep fighting, and I know it's really hard for the LGBT community. I understand your fear. I understand everything you feel. I know that we are not treated as humans, and I know that we are not considered humans by their government. We are called an ideology. But we have to stay strong and keep fighting, because if we do, then maybe finally the government will back off. All we want is those rights and acceptance. That's all we want.